Are you fearful of getting fired, or did you just get fired? Then congratulations if you are getting fired. And why am I saying this? If you pick up Meta, if you pick up Amazon in India, if you even talk about Zomato in India, if you talk about Google, then leading tech giants are actually firing people. If you think that the fire has not been witnessed by you, I am sorry to burst your bubble, then you can potentially be next for no fault of yours, because the world seems to be getting into a recession and that will have a direct impact on a lot of tech giants. And why am I sharing this video? Because I am going to be sharing 5 steps every professional should actually implement if in case they get fired, to make sure that they bounce out of after this firing and they take a lot of interesting jobs for themselves. So welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Shatakshi, and whenever I'm on a chai break and actually taking a vacation in my life, I shoot these really cool videos for you. And on my channel, I talk about all things career, all things management consulting, and all things MBA. So feel free to hit on the subscribe and the notification button so that you get notified every time I'm making out these really cool videos for all of you. And watch till the end if you want to know the 5th and the most important hack through which you can handle getting fired amidst mass layoffs that are happening. So let me now actually build the context. Very interestingly, I know of 2 dear friends who are from Ivy League universities, and their names were also in the mass layoff list. Why am I sharing that tale to all of you is because degrees will only take you somewhere. So for example, interestingly, there was also an incident or a news of IIT JEE rank 1 who was working in Meta in Singapore. He was also part of the entire mass layoff list. Now, of course, I cannot verify that news, but the larger point that I want to communicate is degrees will only take you somewhere. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is, as someone who myself actually got more than 6 offers in 2020 and 2021 at the peak of pandemic, I actually know hacks of getting jobs in a 5-step roadmap manner, and I am going to be sharing with all of you one by one. Let's start with point number 1, which is that you should always keep your CV at all times updated. Whenever during my 20s I was working, I would always make it a point that I would actually update my CV at least once in every 6 months, even when I was not looking for a job. What that did to my career was, it always allowed me to reflect if the kind of work I was doing or if the kind of projects I was doing was really worth it, or did they really would allow me to get new jobs as well. So that's the most important thing that I advise you to do, so that you are not taken by surprise or you are not suddenly making CVs, right, when you are getting laid off. So my advice is, make your CVs, update your CVs once every 6 months. There are plenty of resources on YouTube, absolutely free of cost, on how to make a CV. In fact, I have one on my channel about how to make management consulting CVs as well, where I've shared my own original BCG shortlisted CV as well. We'll put a screenshot somewhere here. So feel free to check that out. But that's the most important step you need to do. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is having your skills, interview skills especially, really sharpened. If you have a job and if you have not been laid off, I advise you to proactively sharpen your interview skills at least monthly. You might be surprised, but that's nonsense. If I have a job, why should I be practicing mock case interviews or mock interviews once a month? Because today, I also teach at GJ along with a lot of CEOs case interview skills. My case interview skills are just so good right now that even if I sit for McKinsey or any other private equity or any other interview, I will be able to crack it. And I realized one thing, because I was practicing them throughout for my firm or for my venture, I became really good at it. That meant that I was always ready in terms of interview skills or in terms of tech skills to get hired. And by chance, if you're in the unemployed category, then you need to practice interview skills daily. And what do I mean by practice? That you do it in a mock manner with someone with whom you can get quality feedback also. What are the good things you are doing and what are the scope of improvement as well. Do at least 50 to 80 mock interviews, and I would suggest that you do it with 15 different kind of diverse peers as much as possible. Only if you proactively invest in your career, right? Nobody is going to handhold you and tell you that, hey, you need to do this. But only if you proactively do this with your career, then when mass layoffs happen, you will not be taken off by surprise, right? And like I said, I do not want to demotivate you, but unfortunately, you could be next in the list. A lot of startups, a lot of unicorns, in fact, are also firing. So that's point number 2, which is around keeping your interview skills sharpened. Let's talk about third hack through which you can handle mass layoffs, which is largely around having brief introductions. How do you introduce yourself? I know of so many people who have done A-star work, but they explain it or articulate it like a C-star candidate. They are just not good at articulating the impact of their work. Hate it or you love it, but world is a poor listener. Alright, so you need to learn the art of articulating or introducing yourself in 45 seconds, right? Literally time yourself by the watch, right? And then introduce yourself. You should be able to talk of impact first and then effort later of your work. Mostly, for example, now I take interviews for my own organization. I have so many times seen, if I will ask a question around X, the answer I will get will be around Y. That means that you need to learn how to answer the question first, not say what you want to say, but answer the question first. So that is the third hack through which you can handle mass layoffs, which is that you learn to introduce yourself well. There is another video, deep dive video that I made on how to introduce yourself. We'll put a screenshot somewhere here on my screen, so feel free to check that out. The fourth point is about HRs. A lot of people ask me questions, Shatakshi, should we follow up with HR, should we not, what is a good frequency, what is a bad one? I would suggest following up with HRs once every week, especially if you have entered the funnel or you are shortlisted, then it's a very good frequency. It is your job to get a job. It is not HR's job to give you a job. I know so many jobs that I got just because I was proactively following up with HR. That also kind of gives a signal to the HR that you are putting them on a priority compared to other firms or comparing yourself to other priorities. So please make sure that you're following up at least weekly with all the HR. So that's the fourth point and the fourth hack. The fifth hack is my favorite because you might wonder, Shatakshi, how does one even get a shortlist? And I've used this hack multiple times in my career as well. So what is that hack? Only if you're kind and collaborative to people in this society, then there comes a time when you will get help. Why am I saying this? If you write to 100 people on LinkedIn who have certain level of commonality with you, that commonality could be at a school level, could be at an alumni level, could be at an organization level. If you are in Boston and if you come from Patna, then could be at a Patna level, because people from Patna will be less in in Boston. So Bihar and Boston. So then they will have a likelihood of helping you. And you reach out to those 100 people. Please don't write a chitta or a long paragraph. Nobody has a time to read all of that. Just write brief 3 to 4 lines and enter that sentence around how you are common with that person, right? And then 50 will respond, 10 will agree to get on a call with you, 2 or 3 will actually give you a free referral. Alright, 2 or 3 will actually give you a free referral. But mind you have to reach out to 100 people with whom you have commonality, and then 50 will respond, 10 will get on a call, and 2 and 3 will give you a referral. I have beautifully used this hack multiple times in my career to actually advance my career, get jobs, and actually advance my own organization and my social impact venture as well. As I wrap up this entire video, I want to end by saying one more thing, that employers will take more than 80 hours or 70 hours per week of work from you, leaving you high and dry on the name of restructuring or in the name of global recession. That means that you are responsible for your own upskilling. That means that you're responsible for your own mental well-being. Please make sure if you are fired, then you take care of your mental well-being as well. Getting fired can impact your self-worth, so that is equally important part of bouncing back out of that entire situation. And like I always say, if you need more help to get into management consulting, product management and public policy to advance your career and salary, then feel free to check out GGI Impact Fellowship Program at globalgovernance-initiative.org, which is my social impact venture. And if you like this video, feel free to hit on the like button and share it with your friends so that they get to know about all the cool things that I'm sharing with all of you as I'm on a chai break. Ciao, I'll see you very much soon.